Cool. So we'll just jump into it. Just
Yeah, I
all right.
guess.
Welcome back to the horror corner. It's been a second. Uh,
Yeah,
just gonna.
it's been a full 1 second.
What is time anymore? What is the date? I don't know.
Hmm.
This will be coming out on Monday, which is June 29th.
Soon. Oh my god, it's June. It's almost July.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we a lot has happened since our May 9th episode,
March
you
9th.
said? Oh yeah. Fuck. March
I
9th.
wish it
That
was
is
May.
what I meant. Yeah. So we got quarantine, pandemic, civil uprisings.
Yep.
You got I don't know what the status is on the murder hornet. Have you heard
Oh,
of that?
yeah. So the murder. It's
The
funny.
murder hornet.
My cousin had the funniest response to it.
Mhm.
He was like, "Oh, murder hornets are fine because they don't kill people," and I was like, "Excuse me." So I googled it, and apparently he thinks it's fine because murder hornets only kill bees.
No,
I,
that's not true.
yeah.
Also, they can't kill humans.
No.
If
They
like
mostly hunt bees. They don't murder humans.
I mean, but like if like a swarm attacks you,
Oh, well, I mean
like
that's the case
yeah,
with any hornet, any
yeah,
wasp,
yeah. I
or
like
bee.
am more mad that they have the potential, but they
So does a
don't.
human.
I
I
know,
don't.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yes.
That's yeah, but
They are capable of murder, but they are not after us specifically.
yeah, but they're after bees,
Yeah,
so
which is
that's
just as bad. And my cousin was like, "Oh, it's okay because they just murder bees," and I was like, "I don't see how this is better,
yeah,
because if bees die, we die. See how
yeah,
that works?"
bad. I also read an article that people in Washington are removing bee nest with the hope of protecting themselves from the murder
Yikes.
hornet based on misinformation. And it's like,
Hmm.
no, that's so bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
Um,
In
but yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It, I was just gonna say that it's starting to feel biblical because you got the plague, you got locusts. Now we just need all of the rivers to fill with blood, and then we're toast.
Yep. I know. I was watching Supergirl, which seems kind of off topic and weird for a second, but some of the villains in it are like Rain, which is like all power, whatever, like super tyranny.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not really sure what the. I don't know. It's the
Hmm.
horsemen of the apocalypse, basically. So they've got Rain, they've got pestilence and blight, and like all the things, and I'm just like, this is fine.
Yeah.
This is fine.
This is great. Yeah, I was watching a TikTok video
Oh my god.
where I know Hollis is like super into TikTok, so now I have to be
I know they sent me
in
TikToks, and I was
TikTok.
like, wait, I don't have a TikTok account, and now I do, but I forgot their TikTok, so I might have to ask them for it.
Yeah, yeah. I swear to God, they send me like 18 TikToks a
My
day.
sister sends me a bunch of gay TikToks. I'll have to send you some because there's this one which
Do
is
it.
like, why would you think in any universe I would want to like men? You think I want to like men?
I mean,
Who
that's
would
kind
want
of
to like men?
who would want to. I mean,
It's so
that's kind
funny.
of
Just like a gay
how
man.
that's kind of how I approach like my pansexuality. I'm like, why would I date a man if I can date anyone other than a cis man?
It's so funny just
Like,
listening to people like, why would I want to date a man? Do you think like if I had the choice, like as a like not me, but like
uh-huh.
whoever there's people like listening to the podcast, they're like, I am a straight woman. Do you think if I had the choice to be gay, I wouldn't be gay. Of course I would be gay. Men are trash. And I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
Great content.
Oh my god, so good. It's like,
I think that's a Wine and Crime quote. It's not an exact quote, but if anybody's wondering what podcast that's from, it's from Wine and Crime.
nice, nice. I feel like it's kind of like bisexuality privilege to be able to make the choice.
Just ignore the population that's trash.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll like come across a cis man and I'm like, okay, dang, I would do that. But then I'm like, okay, everyone else in the world I can pick. Don't. But
yeah,
usually,
I mean, you've got options.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to have options.
And with that, Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
It's currently still June.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Barely. I have worn my rainbow, cute, stylish t-shirt one time.
Well, I mean, you've got how many days left to do it? Also, the entire rest of the year? Because Pride Month is all the months of the year?
For sure.
All year round?
Every year. I don't stop being gay after Pride Month. I don't.
Boy. Just imagine.
I never stop.
That's the ultimate argument. Forget biblical arguments. Just argue. Pride Month is the only month you can be gay. That is the only month you are gay.
Better load up on glitter. You can, stock up for quarantine.
Man, I walked into Target today and there was like, the Target dog Spot or whatever. He's got like a rainbow bandana and I was like, good. That's and they've got like a bunch of shirts and stuff. Just like they've got a whole like mini Pride section because the Target itself isn't that big. It's like a mini city Target. Like city Targets aren't that big to begin with a lot of times, but this is like a mini city Target.
Wow.
So they had like one rack of like Pride stuff and then like a small section for 4th of July and then like a whole display of fireworks and I was like, I see now where people are getting their fireworks to blow up at 2 a.m. It wasn't 2 a.m. It was like midnight. But
wait, how can Target sell fireworks if they're
like
illegal?
They're just like the really big poppers.
Okay.
Not like legit fireworks. But I was like, it's too early for them to like have fireworks. But then I realized, no, it's the end of June. This is the time that they sell this shit. Like, they're perfectly in their range if there's a fly in here. But this is the time range. Yeah.
I mean, it's good that the Pride section was bigger than the United States Pride section.
I mean, it's also just, it's a really small Target.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well.
By the way, I'm Cody.
Oh, hi, I'm Elle.
I feel like we should introduce ourselves after all this time.
Yeah.
If you're joining us for the first time, this is not our first episode. This is our 20th episode.
We were going to do something special.
We were going to do the Cecil Hotel, like a joint thing. I forgot. We planned it out. I didn't listen all the way through the last episode to like listen to which one we were going to do.
Yeah. I thought, were we doing H.H. Holmes or did I shit on that again? I know that I like shit on that once.
Yeah, I don't remember because I was like, oh, let's do H.H. Holmes because like it's easy to like kind of match up. But then you were like, no, fuck that. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought,
I took a very strong stance on that. And then I was like researching, trying to find topics. I'm like, oh, H.H. Holmes like one of the only ones well, that's
the thing. I was like, we don't have a lot of time to figure this out. Like, we only have a week unless, we can figure this out. In advance, I don't know. But I was just like, we only have a week to figure out what story we want to do, and that's the first one that can come to mind. And I'm just like, you know what, just churn it out, use up the topic, it's fine. And then you're just like, absolutely not. And I was like, okay, that's then it's your job to come up with something. If you nix my idea, that's your job. I thought maybe I had it in my notes because this is still the same notebook I was using before, but I don't have it written down. I do have notes on Friday the 13th though.
Oh.
We don't have to get into that. That's not that's not what we're here for. What we are here for is turning back the clock to 1995.
Okay.
April 15th? Yes.
Wait, so are we no longer jumping into the time machine? Have we made a switch to turning back the clock instead?
I don't know. I'm just
travel through time.
We've been recording for however long and I just want to jump into it, that's all.
Okay. I'm just being a butt face.
Oh.
Go ahead.
One day we'll get back into the swing of it. There's a fucking fruit fly in here and I don't know what to do about it.
Ew. Slap it.
I have been, but I'm just sweaty and it's attracted to me, like, because I mean, who wouldn't be?
So vivid.
Cancel that. Just, Cody, cut
Nope.
that out.
Nope. You have to keep it in.
Yikes. Okay. So we'll turn back the clock to April 15th of 1995 and hopefully no fruit flies follow us.
Hmm.
I was actually like I've run out of podcasts to listen to during
Oh no.
quarantine. So I was actually listening to My Favorite Murder for the first time in like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And not Karen, Georgia, sorry. Georgia was talking about an I Survived episode from like season 6. And I was like, "Oh man, this is a great story that like I would love to cover. And it's about this woman who like survived."
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Woo.
surprise.
We do that? What?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean she's on a show called I Survived. You'd think
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
she survived something like.
Mm-hmm.
She, um, but no. So season 6 of I Survived is behind a paywall, unless you start a free trial. But it's linked through Amazon, so I can't just like plug in a bunch of emails.
Mm-hmm.
So I could only watch season 1 of I Survived. So I picked a different episode with someone with the same name as her.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman's name is Jennifer. So I'm not talking about this Jennifer today. I'm talking about Jennifer Morey, who was a 25-year-old lawyer who had just moved to Houston, Texas, in April, I guess. I don't
Mm-hmm.
before April, sometime before that. But she found this apartment complex that was like super secure. It was like gated. They had like 24-hour security. They had that says 8 feet, right? I think so. Once again,
What?
handwriting atrocious.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it had like 24-hour security guards, walls, you know, 8-foot tall walls. Like it's supposed to be super secure. Like it had a really
Mm-hmm.
good reputation in the community, and she was just like, yeah, I was just looking for like a really secure place because it was near downtown Houston, and I was really worried about things, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. So she moved into an apartment on the second floor of this apartment complex, and on April 15th, 1995, she goes out drinking with some of her friends at a place called the Ale House.
Mm-hmm.
She stays out from like 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. At which she got a ride from a guy she met at the bar slash like restaurant. I'm pretty sure it's a bar,
Mm-hmm.
but she met this guy at this bar and he offered to give her a ride home, and so she
Oh
said
no.
yes, and he
Oh
took her
no.
back to her apartment complex, which
Mm-hmm.
is like a huge red flag for me. Like, why would you? I mean, this is 1995. You're a white
Mm-hmm.
woman. Maybe you feel a little bit more secure than I would accepting a ride from a guy that
Yeah.
I just met at a
Yeah.
bar downtown. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
But I mean, luckily, the guy didn't ask to come in or anything. So
Oh,
she went
okay.
into her apartment. In the episode she talks about like recalling locking the deadbolt. So like she knows she
Mm-hmm.
locked the door, right? I don't think she invited the guy in. She went in by herself and just made sure to lock it before getting ready to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she falls asleep and she's like in this really deep sleep, and she's exhausted from the day, and she wakes up kind of not really sure what's going on in the middle of the night, like around 4 a.m., and is like, oh shit, someone's on top of me.
Oh. Oh God.
And
Oh
when you
God.
live
No.
alone and you're like, someone's on top of me, that shouldn't be happening. So someone's on top of her, like there's a weight on top of her, and there are hands trying to pull down her underwear. And
Oh
she's like sort of half asleep
no.
still, so she's like trying to figure out what's happening, like, trying to get a grip on the
Mm.
situation. And in the episode, she talks about how she could feel his leg hair against her skin,
Ew. Oh
which is
God.
not okay. I
No.
hate that. Like,
Is
just that
this?
imagery, that, like, sensory feeling, just,
Yeah.
oh, yuck. Oof.
Hold on.
Sympathy,
Is
empathy, all of the feelings for her right now, like,
yeah.
yikes.
Is this it going to get more graphic and vivid?
Uh,
Just asking.
a little bit. I can make it
Okay.
less.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I
Yeah.
should
I
have
just
said, this is one of my more gory ones. I didn't try to censor
okay.
any of it. Like, they talk.
Hmm.
I, I didn't want to give, like, a blow-by-blow of the episode in case you want to watch
Oh
it, because it
yeah.
is free on
Hmm.
Amazon Prime. So
Hmm.
you can go watch it. I didn't pick one that was behind a A&E Crime Central paywall.
Got it. Okay.
Um, But yes, light hair, not great.
Yeah,
Um,
I hate that. Nope.
yeah, she could feel his light hair against her skin as he held a knife up against her throat.
No.
And that's also not fun. And so this is when she starts yelling and like kind of getting a grip of her surroundings and really just kind of, this is like she's fully awake at this point.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so she starts yelling and struggling against him, but later reports are like, oh, 20 people in the 15 apartments around her could hear her screaming and nobody called
Hmm.
911.
No.
Yeah. He got mad when she started fighting back, and he slashed her face with the knife and kept telling her, Jennifer, stop.
Oh, he knew her name.
Yeah, so he knew
No.
her name. She couldn't place him, though, unfortunately. Like, she couldn't figure out, like, she didn't recognize his voice. She couldn't really see
Hmm.
him because it was dark. And, like, she talks about how, like, she can only see the outline of his hair. So she has no
Mm-hmm.
idea who this guy is. But he, like, very clearly knows who she is, and it's
Yeah.
very unsettling.
Yeah.
They struggle for a bit, and eventually the knife cut across her throat.
Mm.
He got off of her, dragged her across the room, and told her to go into the bathroom, which she did. Um, okay, so in the episode, she says he told her to go into the bathroom, and she did. But
Hmm.
like articles that I read later said that he threw her into the bathroom, and I don't know
Mm.
if that was like a creative liberty or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But she said that she went into the bathroom.
yeah,
Like, okay,
yeah.
got it.
Without fighting, because like this whole
Hmm.
time he's instructing her to like not look at him. He's just like, don't look at me, don't look at me, Jennifer,
Hmm.
you bitch, don't look at me,
Oh
and like,
God.
it's just, oh, God, he's like, it seems to me like he's ashamed of what he's doing, which is
Yeah.
not great.
No.
Um, so he instructed her not to look at him, and she promised that she wouldn't because she knew that if she upset him
Hmm.
in any way, he would most likely kill her.
Mm.
So she was like, not about that.
Nope.
Now,
Oh, poor Jennifer. Fuck.
yeah. So, yes. um, this is where it starts to get a little bit graphic. Um,
Is it like sexual assault? More than it already is.
no.
Okay. Okay.
So, you're at least saved from that a little bit.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Now, the bathroom door didn't have a lock, so she wedged herself between the bathtub and the door and just kind of like pushed as hard as she could against both to like keep the door shut if he like tried to
Nice.
come in. But he didn't try to get in or anything. He like kind of rummaged around the apartment. She heard him like moving behind the door. Um, and then like specifically she heard him zip up his pants. And then she didn't hear anything
Okay.
after that. So she's like, okay, well, he could still be out there. Like I can't I I'm bleeding a lot at this
Yeah.
point. Like she realizes then that like her throat is slit and she can't, you know, she's bleeding. And if she stays
Yeah.
in that bathroom, she's going to die.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
So she's like, well, I gotta I gotta get out of here.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Whether that's through the guy or if he's gone and I call the police.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, I gotta get out of this bathroom because this is the most dangerous place for me right now.
Hmm.
So she gets up and tries to open the door, but her hands are just covered in so much blood and the door is all but jammed
Oh
from
gosh.
how hard she was
Yeah.
pushing earlier.
Uh huh.
So she's like tugging, 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 and she finally gets it open and like she crawls out and she looks around. And she's like trying to see him, but she can't see him because she doesn't have her contacts in, so she can't really see
Oh
anything.
yeah.
Also, it's really dark. So she tries to turn on the light, but the power's out, and that's fun. um,
Mm. No.
she tries to get to the landline,
Hmm.
but her phone line has been cut as well.
Oh fuck.
So that's also fun.
Mm.
Um,
No.
I don't think she knew at the time that her power line has been cut, or like her phone line has been cut.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I think she's calling out, hello, hello, is anybody there? Um, just to see if he's still there, But she
Hmm.
hears no response. She can't see him. So she goes and finds her cell phone, and she's sitting on the couch like, fuck, he could be behind the couch, like he can be in the kitchen where I can't see him. I'm
Hmm.
just gonna try to call 911, and hopefully somebody is able to get to me, and like before he does.
Mhm.
And, this whole time she's thinking, I was late to pay my power bill, or my electric bill.
Oh
What if they
no.
chose this day to turn off my power? Like, this would be the shittiest day to turn off my power.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was able to find her cell phone and call 911, and the operator helps her calm down, stays on the line with her while he sends the Houston police and fire to her apartment complex.
Hmm.
So Richard is the, sorry, motorcycle. Um, Richard is the guy on the, is the dispatcher. He's really nice. Like, they play the 911 call, and he's like super calm. He's super nice. He's like not
He's
trying to
good.
tell her like, can you just fucking calm down? Like, some operators are
Yeah.
really rude, and like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
people on the other end are going through a crisis. Can you just be a little bit more sympathetic?
Yeah.
But no, he was really nice. He's like, just calm down. Like, it'll be okay. I'm sending everybody over there. And so they're kind of having this exchange, and someone knocks on her apartment door. Wonder who that could be.
Yeah.
And so she's like, Richard, someone's knocking on my door, and he's like, don't answer it, because I'm looking at, like, I'm tracking the units that we've sent over to your place, and they're not there yet. We don't know who's at the door. Don't open it. And so she's like, hello, who's at the door? And the guy on the other side of the door is like, oh, I'm from security.
Uh-huh.
And Richard's like, we never called security at your complex. Don't open the door. Like, for sure now, really just don't open the door.
Yeah.
Like, we never notified them that this is happening. He shouldn't be there unless he, like, saw something. And the guy's just like, let me in. I can show you my badge.
Uh-huh.
And he's, like, really insistent on letting him in, like, opening the door so he can come in. And
Yeah.
Jennifer's just like, absolutely not. Will not.
Yeah.
And, oh boy. If she had opened that door, he would have most likely 200% killed her.
Killed her, yeah.
Because we find out when the police actually show up that this guy had sustained injuries. He claimed to have sustained injuries from Jennifer's attacker. So that sounds fishy already a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, like, why didn't you go after him when he ran away? Or like called other security people? Like, why are you the only security person there?
Yeah.
But yeah, so finally the police arrived and identified themselves, and the dispatcher over the phone confirms that it is indeed the Houston police and that she can open the door and everything should be fine. She tells them what happened, and they tell her that that they have a security guard who claims to have struggled with Jennifer's attacker, sustaining some injuries. They take him into custody and ask him to take his boots off because he's wearing, like, cowboy boots, which don't sound like security standard issue. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I mean, I guess Houston. I don't know.
That is a stereotype. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I know,
but I feel
but
like
like,
it's a generalization that's like not true. Yeah. When the police searched her apartment after they took her to the hospital and everything, they found underwear, a Pinkerton security hat, which is like the complex's security team, a belt, and a glove.
So wait, this was all at her apartment.
Yes. This guy left a whole bunch of evidence. And so he probably, I'm thinking, he probably came back to, like, he realized he messed up, or, like, he came back, is the point, and probably came to get his stuff and finish her off because, he's like, oh, shit, I left evidence. They took him into custody and took off his boots, under which he had white socks that had blood spatters all over them.
Great.
Suspicious.
Yeah. Good
They made
look.
him take off his shirt, and his torso had blood all over it. He also wasn't wearing underwear.
And there was underwear at the scene, or?
Yes, in her apartment they found underwear, a Pinkerton security hat, gloves, and a belt.
Okay, so, like, this might be from him.
Exactly.
So
everything's kind of starting to add up, and they're like, well, you did something.
Yep, this doesn't look good, man.
Because that's definitely not your blood, and you're not wearing underwear. So a quote from the, like, ending of the episode that kind of, like, tells you what happens afterwards says, Brian Wayne Gibson, the security guard, was convicted of aggravated burglary with intent to commit sexual assault, And he was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Wait, so intense, but he
Yes.
did sexually assault her though?
No.
What?
Because the entire time he's trying to rape her, she doesn't let. She, like, fights him off, and she won't let him.
So, oh my god.
So he definitely had the intent, but was not able to. Because she fought back so hard.
I guess like just but like to me like the fact that she had to feel his leg hair like that
I
feels
mean, that's a
like
violation in itself, yes, absolutely.
yeah, but like
Um,
the legal definition, I guess.
exactly. And even in the episode,
But
she's like, I'm so glad that he didn't rape me. And I'm like,
okay, okay.
I mean, it's very, very close. And I know it's not, like,
Yeah.
textbook law definition of rape, but it's, like,
Yeah.
it's very, very close. And it's pretty much the same thing. And
Yeah.
it's very traumatizing.
Yeah.
Um,
I know, like all of my impulses right now are just like, no, he should have been convicted of sexual assault.
yeah, so, I mean, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Not enough.
Not enough. I can read you a list of her wounds.
Mm. Do you feel like it's important?
No?
Okay. I mean, if you want to,
No, no,
go
no.
ahead. No?
I mean,
Okay.
obviously she was slashed across her throat and, like, stabbed
Yeah.
on her arm, but, like, she sustained. Well, we're here now.
Go for it.
So she
I'll
had a
be
slash
okay.
on her face from the far end of her left eyebrow. Sorry, this is my left. Not that listeners can see what I'm doing.
Oh,
She had
no.
a slash on her face from the far end of her left eyebrow across the bridge of her nose and down to the inside of her corner of her right eye.
Okay.
She had a slice deep into the top of her jaw. This jaw? Yeah. On her cheek to the middle of her neck, like right here, to the top of her jugular, slash like Adam's apple. And then she has stabs through her throat and her arm.
Fuck.
So lots of bleeding, and
Yeah.
she,
From
like,
a lot of important places.
yeah. In the episode, she talks about how, like, she just, she crawled over and, like, got her toilet paper roll and, like, just tried to, like, hold everything together so that she would stop bleeding a little bit. So that's the gross,
Okay.
gory
Okay.
things. So I wanted to read a little bit more on this because I didn't want to just, like, tell the episode to you.
Yeah.
So I went and found a couple of articles. One of them's from Life Daily, and then the other one's from a Houston Press on the website.
Okay.
Both mention how 200... Nope. Here we are with numbers. 128 of 130 of the Pinkerton guards that worked between 1991 on this site between 1991 and 1995 were convicted of felonies. Now, felonies can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
And
Not.
I don't know what they were all convicted for, and I'm not
Yeah.
here to make a judgment on anybody except for Brian.
Yeah. Or like sex offenders, I'd say. But
Yeah. But the point is, he had multiple complaints against him. One was for using the car of a client. So that was technically without permission, so that was technically auto theft.
yeah.
And he had, like, argued with various clients prior to that. So, he received multiple complaints. They had to reassign him twice already because people were, like, they didn't like him.
Yeah.
And this security company had about, like, 4,000 employees total, security employees working under them. But the article brings up a good point. I think that, like, imagine a police precinct. Most of them are around 130 officers. And, if you consider if that entire precinct had, like, past offenders of, like, sexual assault, which, again, not here to make judgment on anybody except for Brian Gibson, but I do think that there are people in the police stations that do need to go.
Yeah.
Just imagine, like, that's an entire police precinct, and a quote from them says, like, having 130 former Houston police officers charged and convicted of felonies over a 4-year period would boggle even the harshest cities of the of no harshest critics of the city's law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is absolutely true, but unfortunately a lot of them fall through the cracks. So, I don't...
Yeah.
This article was written in, like, 2000-ish, late 90s,
Mm-hmm.
so at the time, maybe. Now, in certain areas, it would not boggle my mind.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be
Yeah. Yeah.
surprised.
Mm-hmm. This
But,
is
I mean,
why...
this is the times
Yeah,
that we're in, so...
I know. This is why I can't trust anyone who
Oh,
comes into
absolutely.
my apartment that I don't know. Like, I love my maintenance staff at my apartment complex, but I'm like still terrified every single time a man comes into my apartment to do work on
Exactly.
anything.
Right, like, for a
So
while,
scared.
I would, like, greet the maintenance people that came in and, like, especially because I had to knock out my moldy ass wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my roommate would just, like, hang back or whatever, and I'm just like, I would prefer not doing that if he could do it, but also, I don't know, it's just kind of a... I'm usually the one to put in the complaint to begin with, so I guess I have to
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I
Uh,
like I like often panda call Hollis, like, can you come over? I don't want to be alone with a man in
well,
my
they're doing...
apartment.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad it is.
Yeah.
Ugh. It makes me mad that we even have to be afraid of that because it shouldn't be.
Right.
Anyways, you know.
Yeah. Okay, where was I? Pinkerton Security. Yeah, okay. Gibson worked at Pinkerton Security for 3 years, and in those 3 years he had received a number of complaints, been reassigned multiple times for complaints relating to auto theft, and then a quote from Houston Press says, "But rather than terminate Gibson, much less file charges, Pinkerton instead reassigned him to the graveyard shift at Bayou Park, a complex where many young women live alone."
No.
So, they basically put a sexual predator in their prime hunting ground.
That's so fucked up.
Houston Press also goes on to talk about how the long history of Pinkerton Security and the trust they had built up with their clients since their start in the 1850s. And I mean, they talk about this to, like, give people background on the security
Mm-hmm.
company, like, why people keep hiring them, and, like, kind of, they are a lot of people trust them because they have been around for so long. And, like, that's what she said.
Yeah.
She's like, I've heard of Pinkerton before. I know they're, like, an upstanding company for the most part,
Yeah.
obviously. But, like, I saw their name on the thing. We got walls, we've got 24-hour security. Like, I thought this complex was safe.
Yeah.
But it turns out the people they hire, their background check system, not that great.
Yeah, it sounds like an old boys club type of situation where they can, like, create their own reputation.
Well, that's the problem. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, we use a background test thing that's like 168 questions long. And, other psychologists and lawyers come in and they're like, that don't work for this company, and they're like, yeah, but, there are more extensive tests that are over 300 questions long. You use the short version of this. It's not as, like, effective in screening.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we do require, the baseline question is, do you have a high school diploma or a GED? And Brian Gibson did not have either of those.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm all for hiring people who haven't, who don't have diplomas, high school or GED or college degree. Like, I don't care. Like, people should be hired despite that. Like, that shouldn't be a bar.
Yeah.
Right? But, I feel like security is one of those things that maybe you should. Like, there are different... Hold on. Let me... all I'm trying to say is that there are probably better suited jobs for people who don't have high school diplomas or GEDs.
Mm-hmm.
Security is not one of them.
I guess for me, it's like if they don't have a GED or a diploma, it's like there better be a lot of on-job training, like, for sure.
Right. Right.
And it sounds like this security company is not the type to offer ongoing training.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like they pay $1 above minimum wage at the time, which was they got paid $5.95 an hour. So they paid minimum wage basically because the dollar makes all the difference. And they barely screened their applicants, and I don't know. They're like, we provide a lot of security, a lot, for places. We've got this many officers. They're not officers.
Mm-hmm.
Team members on site, and that was the argument from like other sources. They're like, you provide this many bodies, but it's low grade, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe your company has a lot of people that work for you, but it's low quality.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that make up for? Nothing. The
Yeah.
number doesn't make up for anything when it comes to this, and like,
Yeah.
it just sucks.
Yeah.
Because,
It's like,
initially she opens the door when the police get there, and they're like, hey, we have this person who's also injured, a security guard, and she's like, I felt so bad because somebody else got injured because of me. And turns out it was the guy, but like, so I mean, he kind of deserved to get injured, but still, like,
yeah.
just to have that thought in your head, and like, she wanted to call her mom and be like, hey, I need to let you know that this has happened before, like, if I die, I just need you to know from my mouth, like, this is happening.
Fuck.
But yeah, I had this whole rant at the end, like, I can show you, like, that's a whole,
Yeah.
was like, it's a lot of me just ranting about, like, also maybe hire people who, like, can prove critical thinking skills. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, like,
Whether or not they have a degree from high school or a GED.
yeah, and like a 135 question test is not a psychological evaluation.
No, it's not.
It's a very
really
sad excuse. It's like you can't tell if someone has like a hatred towards women based
Exactly.
on the test. Like that's stupid.
Exactly. So, that's my story.
Okay.
I didn't want to give a blow by blow of the episode, like I said, so
Yeah.
I did do some reading afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
kind of on the company and everything. It's just, it's incompetence and also poor, I was gonna say poor background checking, but that's also incompetence. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
incompetence all around.
Mm-hmm. Also, it seems like they're just complacency too.
Mm-hmm.
That like they will just reassign someone who has proven that they are not fit for the job
Right.
or like able to perform, I guess.
Please hire convicted felons, but convicted felons, that's not, oh, wow.
No.
I've been doing too much reading. Please hire people who have been convicted, and, screen a little bit more than just
Yeah.
they've been convicted.
Yeah.
What
And
have they
like
been convicted for? Don't be so quick to judge.
yeah. And like I feel like it definitely matters to like what they've been convicted of and where they're applying to. Also, like I feel like one-on-one interaction in that situation is really important to evaluate whether or not they can perform the job because I feel like just like through talking to someone you can tell whether they feel remorse or if they've changed or if like they are for sure not going to, I don't know, like repeat something. But if it's like if you talk to someone and they're not, I don't know.
I mean, like at police academies, especially in weapons training, they put you in scenarios where a person's coming at you, and do you or do you not draw your weapon?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a moment where you have to look at them and be like, were they quick to draw their weapon? Were they hesitant because they don't want to be that person to take a life? Do they not care about the person who's coming at them and they're just like, I need to put them down? Like, that's a situation that a security guard could be in, even though they aren't an official, like, police officer. And so, if this guy is trying to get hired at a complex that is mostly young women who live alone, that might be a good test.
Yeah. And like it's not hard
I don't
to
know if they
find
carry
out.
guns, but
Yeah.
even
It's
other weapons.
it's like it's not hard to find out if someone is a misogynist, you know, like you don't have to talk, or at least I don't have to talk to a
Right.
cis man very much to figure out like, oh, like I one, I'm not safe with you, two, you're a dick, kind of like
Yeah, I was kind of
it.
curious to see if I could find the test that they use, and they mentioned which one it was, but I didn't go look up the questions because I would love to know what's on the test.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, spook
Cool.
me.
Okay. Yeah, so this episode isn't going to be traumatizing to white people or just in scare value.
Okay.
But I'm white and talking about not my culture, so I'm not going to confirm that I will not traumatize anyone by talking about. But I did my best. Um, Wait, yeah, where did my notes go? Oh yeah, okay. But so, do you want to hear the story behind how I chose my episode?
Sure.
Okay, so I finally converted to Judaism.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask you, how was your ceremony?
It was good. Yeah. It was all online, so that felt kind of weird. Like we have to
Oh my
do.
God. Okay, sorry. This is gonna be a long ass episode.
That's
I was
okay.
watching Disobedience, which is why I was like, oh, I have to ask Elle how their ceremony went.
Mhm.
Did you see Disobedience?
No.
Oh, well, yeah. You gotta
Is
watch it.
it movie, TV show?
Yeah, it's a Amazon.
Mm.
I think I watched it on Amazon. I'm not entirely
Okay.
positive. Um, but it's about two gay women in an Orthodox Jewish community.
Oh yes, that's what I
Yeah,
want
one of
with
them
my
moved away to New
life.
York. Like they
Except,
grew up together,
mm,
were like super good friends, and like kind of had feelings for each other. And then one of them moved to New York, and so she comes back for her father's funeral, and he was like the head rabbi or whatever. And so it's like especially taboo that she's there because he's basically shunned her, and
mm.
it's a whole thing. But they like reunite as
They
like
get
best friends,
together.
and then like kind of deal with their feelings, and it's great.
I love it.
It's very
That's
gay.
like not that far off from my podcast, the Woodlands podcast.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh, did I not include the backstory between Victoria and Esther? Anyways, they had like a similar one
Oh
of
okay.
like they grew
Oh
up
oh oh,
together.
your podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
My
which
podcast that
podcast
I
is
don't
this?
have out, but
Yes. Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Which I'm still down to do if
Yes, I know. I need to write. I've been writing my novel a
that's a
lot.
mood. It's fine. I went back and read all
Yeah.
my fan fiction and got a stomach ache
Oh
at all the
no.
feels and angst, and so I'm taking a break from reading my old
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Like literally, I like, oh, I got a stomach ache so bad at like 2 a.m. because I was like, these people need to get their shit together. They need to confess their feelings. Why haven't they done it yet? There's still 3 more chapters, and I fucking wrote this shit. Like,
Oh my god.
it's a whole thing. Like, you'd think I know what's
Hmm.
going on, so I know that it's coming, but
Oh yeah. No, no.
I feel like this just makes it worse because I know I could have written it to happen sooner, and I just didn't.
I know. The first draft of my novel, I couldn't get my protagonist to leave the house.
Same. I feel
Yeah,
that.
it
I feel
was
that.
it was bad. Like 5 chapters, he was still in his home,
I feel
left
that.
once to go on a jog with his dog, and I'm like, but anyways, I converted. We did the Beit Din over Zoom, and a Beit Din is like you get together with 3 rabbis, and they ask you, why the heck do you want to be Jewish? It sucks. Or, well, and not that, let me rephrase that. The oppression associated with being Jewish
Okay.
sucks.
That's what I assumed, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that happened, and I passed,
Good.
and I chose my Hebrew name. It's gonna be Ariel, and it's spelled
Ariel.
like
Okay.
Ariel, but in Hebrew it's pronounced Ariel. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what kind of what story can I do that is celebratory,
Did
but
you do the
also
Little
fun?
Mermaid?
Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh my
Except,
god!
yeah, except it's very it's here. I'll just pull up my notes. This could be a good intro.
Yeah.
Um,
So I know
Yes.
like the original Little Mermaid, not
Mhm.
sparkly.
Not good. Yeah. And in fact, we were going to go back further to the original Mermaid,
Ooh,
which
okay.
is uh, Mami Wada, who is um, in in today's speak, we would consider her an African mermaid.
Ooh,
Yeah. So, yeah, I actually titled my notes like an academic paper, and the title is "A Dip into Water Spirits: Mami Yada, Markers of Foreignness, and Starbucks Sucks."
yes.
Yay!
Oh, right. Okay, because yeah, Starbucks,
Yeah,
they, yeah,
yeah, we will get into that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I thought of the topic because I'm like, oh, Ariel, I love The Little Mermaid. This is great. So I started my research knowing that I wanted to look at mermaids, but I didn't really know where to start. And I'm like, I want to pick something timely to talk about since, like, I don't know, we're in a pandemic with civil uprisings, the murder of black people, which is not new, but here we are confronted with it. Yeah.
Sorry,
So,
I'm writing a note.
oh no, you're
Okay.
good. So I'm like, maybe I should address that. But then my white dumbass was like, okay, I guess let's just start with like Greek sirens. That's an obvious place to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 3 clicks after the Wikipedia page, I got like hardcore checked because like find out mermaids aren't white. And I
I
quickly
mean,
saw,
like you said, it's a place to start.
yeah, exactly. And then I like went a little bit deeper. Although like 3 clicks isn't that much. So,
It
anyways,
was a place to start.
it was a place to start. Yeah. And then I quickly saw like the actually pretty critical connection between the uprisings and then white people appropriating African diaspora folklore because it's like all part of the same circle.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, when I say like related, I don't mean like on the same scale as like police brutality. I mean like it's kind of all part of the fabric, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Yeah, but now I feel embarrassed that I was excited about like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell the classic Han Christian Andersen folklore. Um,
I mean, honestly, the fact that you were able to find it so fast is good.
I know,
That
yeah,
people have like, we're gonna push this into a
hmm
spot where it's like easily linkable, and that you
exactly.
can find it, and so that
Yeah,
people can know the truth.
I
The
know.
truth is out there.
Yeah,
I've been watching too much
and
X Files. Excuse me.
yeah. I was like, the next time a white person was like, oh, it's so obscure and hard to find, I'm like, it took me
Absolutely not.
like 3 clicks from the Wikipedia page,
You
I
know what? Turn that
think.
into 3 seconds.
3 seconds,
3
exactly.
seconds. Three
It
seconds to
took
find the truth.
to find the
That's
truth.
more than it takes to, or less than it takes to do anything else in this fucking country. Sorry,
Yeah,
this is really hot. I've got a whole thing of
no,
shirts behind me. Ugh. Goodbye.
I see it. You're good.
It's much better.
But yeah, so I need to regroup and find different ways to connect with my new Hebrew name, other than oh my gosh, it's like Ariel, the Little Mermaid. But like it also means in Hebrew, it means Lion of God. So it's not like connected to
Okay.
mermaids at all. So it's like a whole
Yeah.
different thing. I was excited about the name for
I
other reasons
definitely.
other than mermaids, but
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I gotta say that there are some excellent sources on this topic, and I want to include like my full source list in the episode description, if that's okay, because a
Yeah.
lot of them are excellent.
Yeah. So if you can just send that to me, I'll
Mhm.
include it.
Okay. So, I'm going to kind of organize my story by starting out with introducing our water spirit guest of this evening, Mami
Okay.
Wada, who is all the way from West, Central, and Southern Africa. And then I want to go into just one of the forms that she's taken in diaspora, Elasiran from the Caribbean islands and other parts of the Americas. And then I want to talk about how Mami Wada traditions have been co-opted by white people for white people, and how it's being reclaimed, and how she's part of many people in Africa and African diaspora.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Trying out this new organized thing.
That's better than whatever just came out of my mouth for the past hour.
No, it was good. I actually love this story. It was like a little bit like traumatized. Well, and like an okay way, but home invasion is like the thing that I'm scared of. So
in the way that home invasion can be okay, I guess.
In the ways that I'm at least not going to stay up all night scared, but I will be scared before I go to bed, but I am usually anyways. Anyways, not about me. So I didn't even think of this, but mermaids, as we conceive of them now, are like part of a larger class called water spirits. And I didn't realize
they fell into that class. I didn't know they qualified.
Yeah, no.
That sounds weird.
I know. Yeah, I guess like Western conceptions of mermaids, maybe not, but like across like the folkloric definition of mermaids from everywhere, water spirits. So water spirits are really about like awe and connection with water, which is seductive, dangerous, and a source of communication, just like the spirits themselves. So like you kind of see like the spirits mimicking how people feel about the ocean. And so African water spirits, according to the American Museum of Natural History and the Arts for Water Spirits in Africa and its Diasporas, which is part of the Smithsonian Museum, traditionally were snakes, actually. So mermaids didn't become a thing until colonial period, kind of. And like they were often conceived as like water snakes, as far as I know. I imagine that in the future I'll do another episode about water spirits and have to correct everything that I'm saying right now. But
I mean, it kind of sounds like, the Loch Ness Monster. We don't know what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't know what it is, you're just going to classify it, group it into something. It's a UFO.
Yeah.
Not like...
It's an unidentified swimming object.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a USO.
USO! I'm going to write that down. USO. And this can be applied to many things, not just the story. Absolutely.
Cool. No, I dropped my pencil. Well, I have a pen. It's good. It's fine. I'll just...
Wow.
Episode title. USO.
Cool. Where was I? I'm like out
USOs.
of breath for some reason. I don't know why I'm out of breath. This is weird.
Snakes.
Yeah. So the image of Mami Wada as a half human, half fish, or just like human with a fish tail, that came during European colonization, and there will be more on this later. But right now, I kind of want to talk about what Mami Wada is all about. So according to the American Museum of History, she heals the sick and brings good luck to followers. And at the same time, she has a temper and can drown anyone who disobeys her.
I would love that.
Yeah, I know. Powerful matriarch figure. Yeah.
She's one of those people, it's like you look at her and you like, she's just like this figure of beauty and grace and like,
Yes.
It's like the step on me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like crush me under your snake boot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Snakes don't wear boots.
Oh,
Drown
Cody. Drown me. I mean, here we go. Sometimes she takes people to her underworld universe and calls them to serve as her mediums. And I need to still look into like what they mean by mediums.
Yeah.
Because that was just one source that said it, but I don't know if it means like spiritual mediums or like if it's some other form. But I'm gonna look into that and get
Communicators,
back to you.
servants, it could be one or the
Yeah,
other.
yeah. There are like other descriptions for what people who have been taken do. But it is
Interesting.
kind of like UFO abduction though, except underwater.
Oh my god.
Except it's this very powerful, like more uh physical, knowable thing.
Okay, so would you rather
Uh-huh.
be abducted by a UFO
No.
or a USO?
USO. Especially if it's Mami Yada. Because
I was gonna say, oh, but you can't breathe in water while you can breathe in space. You can't fucking breathe in space. I don't.
oh my god.
That's not right.
That's actually wild that there's that connection between the ocean and space is that you can't breathe.
Can't fucking breathe.
Huh.
We don't know what's going on in space. We don't know what's going on underwater.
Yeah, it's like we're not supposed to be there. And
No, absolutely not.
if we are there, it's because a water spirit took us there to become her medium.
Oh
Which
man.
I'm like, I am down. If you want me to be your medium, then
Can you imagine
yes.
if the reason why we can't find the bottom of the ocean? Well, that's a weird statement. If we can't get to the bottom of the ocean is because there's like a sea mermaid snake person like that cast a spell that just like it's like a Hermione's endless bag. And I hate
Yeah.
making a Harry Potter reference right now, but that's the only thing I can think of. Like
No,
Mary Poppins. Mary
it
Poppins'
works.
endless bag, right? Like you cast a spell on it to like make it bigger
Yeah.
on the inside.
Yeah. It's like wild to me that we think like intelligent life is in space, but not as much underwater.
I know,
Because
like if you, jellyfish, like they defy
jellyfish.
all fucking science. Like I don't.
It's
I mean, they are
bizarre.
science, so like they can't defy science. But it's just like one of those things, like intelligent life, not in the ocean when there's fucking jellyfish. How can you tell me there's not intelligent life in the ocean when there's fucking jelly?
How can there be electricity underwater? I'm sure
Yeah.
that there's a scientific reason, but that's wild to me. Um,
Sorry. Okay, we're
no,
we're
no,
really far off now. This is my bad.
we're good. It's okay. So Mami Yada has a very beautiful, alluring presence, kind of as you were saying before. Um, and interestingly, she's marked as foreign from Africa. In art because she has long straight hair, whereas the indigenous people there have like curly hair. So they
I see.
would associate her with something from overseas.
Not from there.
And then adding to that kind of overseas vibe is that she has like foreign jewelry and she has a watch on her wrist. Like that's like a very specific details that she's wearing a watch. And I don't
Sea
really
Queen needs to
know.
know what time it is. Like,
I I don't know. And maybe it's something
oh,
that
I
like
haven't
she
drowned anyone in 5 minutes. I need to.
I need to I haven't saved someone from start from I don't know.
A sea wreck.
Yes, I haven't saved someone from a sea wreck yet. I got to go find someone
No, she's
out
wearing a
there.
calculator watch.
She's wearing an iWatch, one of those
Apple
Apple
Apple Watch.
Apple Watches. She has the whole
She's got to calculate
universe.
how many miles she swam.
Yeah.
She's just really into fitness.
How many calories she's burned saving people from shipwrecks and then drowning men.
Yes,
I want to drown.
that's gay. I'm
Is
sorry.
that bad to say that I want to drown a man? I mean, I feel like after your story, I'm justified in saying that.
Yeah.
um, um, yeah. So the Norman Gabrick Endowment for African Art says that her appearance may be due to early European traders coming from the sea. And then the American Museum of Natural History also says, though, that Europeans often brought like giant statues of their version of mermaids, and that kind of that like idol factor influenced
Okay.
African images of her. Like her like image has changed with colonization, but her like essence hasn't. As far as I know. I mean, I wasn't alive back then. As
Talk
far
about a time machine. We
I
gotta get one.
know, yeah.
Because you could just go to fucking Target and get a time machine.
If you can get fireworks at Target, why can't you get a time machine? The origin of her name is complicated and ambiguous, but it's important because some researchers say that it's a rough translation. I don't. There's like a certain dialect that was a mix of African and English, but I forget what the word is. But it was for trading purposes, and I say trade, but like we all know what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just made a really weird noise.
Oh, it's fine. It's accurate. Um, so some researchers say that her name is a translation from the English "mommy water" or like "mother of water," but that also assumes a large degree of like assimilation, especially when people who have been studying ancient Egyptian and ancient Mesopotamian, they actually say that "mommy" means truth in Egyptian, and I don't know how to say this, but I think it's like awate. Wate means ocean water. So it's like likely that the term for her was used for a long time instead of like an English thing that came up and named the unknowable, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the concept that it comes from English is conveniently othering. So like it does matter where it came from. And I'm inclined to believe the experts who study linguistics. And her appearance is also marked by her holding snakes. So there is still that snake connection. And snakes mark qualities of a divinity as well. And specifically, the snake, huh?
In English culture?
No, in African folklore.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty when you look at it. It kind of
Right,
looks
I'm
like
just thinking about it in my head. I'm just like, I don't want a snake on my body, much
yeah.
less close to my heart.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, if you
Yeah.
think about, her name means like truth.
Yeah.
Maybe, speak from the heart. I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any.
Also,
That's
I mean,
me projecting a meaning onto this. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just like, why would it make sense? Like, they obviously don't have the same symbolism as I would traditionally think about. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's my brain trying to make sense of. I don't want a snake next to my heart.
Yeah. I think.
Snakehead.
Yeah, I think snakes are probably seen as more dangerous in Western culture than
Exactly.
others, I guess, because snake charming is also something that she does. So, which is,
Okay.
And maybe it's like about having control over an unpredictable animal or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's also me projecting. I don't know, but
All of us speculating. Okay.
yeah. Okay, so Mama Yada, also after she kind of became seen as more of what we would say a mermaid, she is pictured as surrounded by riches and worldly possessions, and she's like the OG picture of a beautiful mermaid on a rock holding a mirror and combing her hair. Like that specifically is an image associated with her as an African mermaid. So like the fact that that's them being co-opted as a white Ariel thing is very like it's very plain, I guess.
I'm also just thinking like mirrors reflect images and like changing her image to be like Aryan is very telling in sort of like Aryan culture and what you want to see in the mirror. Standards of beauty, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so she has a lot of pretty things around her. She is very beautiful with her mirror. She's combing her hair, her like long straight hair. She is said to lure any thieves into open water and to demand her possessions back. Otherwise, she will bring misfortune upon them, and these are typically men. And then
That sounds
another,
about right.
yeah. And then there was another source, and I don't know exactly who the source is, but his name sounded German, so I'm guessing
Okay.
white. But like, and it sounds like a white thing too. But he was saying that that if the man does give her possession back, she demands that he be sexually faithful to her.
Ooh.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, you stole it, give it back. I'm not going to kill you, but you have to be sexually faithful to me forever.
I mean, that's the thing, like,
Well,
it's not really, like, sexual favors, it's more like punishment. It's meant to be a punishment, is the thing.
yeah, yeah, it is.
Sexual punishment?
I guess, yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah, but then I'm like, if this was a white guy writing this, it would be very convenient for
Yes.
for
Yes.
you to like, oh, okay.
Oh, how the turntables.
Yeah.
I just quoted that very
we can
badly.
just leave it at
Let's
that.
just move on.
As for what Imami Wade does on the earthly plane, traditions say that she sometimes abducts her followers or random people while they are swimming or boating. And then she takes them to her spirit world, whatever that might be. There's different theories, but we will get into that also. And when she takes them, she either turns them into her mediums or more spiritually understanding people who will be prosperous in life. But that's only if she chooses to return them. She might not return you. So, yeah. A Wikipedia page on her says that overall, even though she can, be have a temper and drown people, she generally wants her followers to be healthy and well off, which is good. I'm
I
like,
mean, that's
yeah,
healthy.
yeah, exactly. I like
Doesn't
imagine
sound
that
like a quote,
she's
a cult. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Oh shoot, I did forget. I forgot to go into the priesthood that's dedicated to her.
is that a
Maybe
cult?
it's not a cult how we would view it, but it's like kind of a
It's a church, which is
religion.
never a cult.
Yeah, it's like a religion based around
Got
her.
it.
Like I don't want to ascribe like Western notions of cults to other
Okay.
cultures that I don't know. But yeah, in the Wikipedia article, it did say like cult of Mami Wada, but then it also says priesthood. Maybe I'll do an episode on that later.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
Yeah. Yeah, so she will abduct people, and then if she returns them, they will be more spiritually evolved, I guess. And then,
Okay.
yeah, and then have a lot of prosperity. So that's nice.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, it reminds me of like of a like super powerful kind of like tough love matriarch who is like very
Absolutely.
caring and good. And when I was reading, it said that kind of perception of her mirrored like the matriarchal societies in African countries before like white people destroyed that. Yeah. Okay. So now I want to go into Ilosiren, which is so it's like the Caribbean offshoot of Amami Yacht Wada. God, sorry.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. No.
Two very different people.
Yeah. So as Europeans like forced enslaved Africans into the Americans, into the Americas, and the Caribbean.
Just shove their souls into American
Yeah,
people.
just like, yeah, you're now enslaved, and we're gonna
That's
take your
fun.
culture too. Thanks. Bye. God, fuck.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, La Sirène. Um, she's one of Mami Yato's manifestations, and she kind of evolved as sorry, as Black people were forced into the Americas in uh, the Caribbean islands, and kind of mesh with European ideas of the mermaids, like, you know, like the statues and everything
Okay.
influence their folklore as well. Sorry. She's similar in appearance to Mami Wada, with her long hair, mirror, and comb. Her underwater world in Haiti is known as the back of the mirror, which gives me chills.
Yeah, like
Um,
what's going on
yeah,
behind the mirror?
yeah.
Stressful.
The mirror is representing the boundary between two worlds. So it's like there's a world that you can't see in the back of the mirror, but something's going on there.
That's that's
It's,
cool and also terrifying.
I know, I'm like, chills. It's so good. It's so good. Um, I feel like I forgot to say something about when she came over to America. Um, okay, I guess I didn't. Um, Followers of her say that sometimes she'll take people underwater, and then that's how they become voodoo priestesses. So specifically, she'll take women underwater and then turn them into voodoo priestesses, which is,
That is an appropriate thing to do.
yeah, that's amazing. Um, and I think that Elasiran is like a prime example of how important folklore is to people, because um, like Haitians, or sorry, Africans who were being forced into Haiti took her with them in a way, and um, it's
I see.
important.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important to people to have that, not just as mythical stories, but as like preserving your
Your
cultural
culture, yeah.
traditions. Yeah. So like when oppressors rip apart your communities and take you to a foreign land and enslave you and throw you into diaspora, like cultural memory and ancestral stories can be one of the only things that you have left.
At least you still
And
have mermaids.
exactly, yeah. And like I kind of,
That's kind of a shitty way to put it too. Like, at least you still have no. At
yeah. I
least you
mean,
still have your culture. No, 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 no.
no.
Like, cling to your culture.
Yeah, yeah, like, yeah. And I kind of, I don't know, identify that with like the Jewish story too, of like going into exile, no, being enslaved in Egypt, and then going through the desert and like having to deal with um, uh, genocide, and just like your whole community just like scattered across the globe too.
Right.
Yeah, so that kind of struck a chord. But like I just imagine that water spirits like Mami Yada and Ilasuran are like especially powerful, because while people are held captive, like the ocean is still there, and it's like the same ocean, and then and Mami Yada and Ilasuran are still like there in kind of a more physical reality, just because the ocean is still the same. So like just like,
Right.
yeah, like, and
That's
not to say
cool.
like at least you have the mermaids, but like at least I imagine that that's like
It's
something.
comforting in some way to like know
Yeah.
that like even though your environment around you mostly has changed, like you can at least well,
Like
we need to stop saying that. You can go down to the water and know that like that's still the same,
exactly.
and you can
Yeah.
like touch it and like it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's a
like
constant.
that's kind of just my speculation. I didn't read that anywhere, so maybe people don't identify with that. But I don't know.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
In a way. I mean, again, like, I also don't know what's going on, so.
Yeah, yeah.
But.
I mean, like, my own sorry.
Interpretations.
Yeah. And, like, my own identification with mermaids is that they are also strangers to land mammals because they can't walk. I'm
That's
like,
true.
I'm like,
Even with a split tail.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, if mermaids were real and they had to come onto land, they would be using wheelchairs too. So I
That's true.
I loved Ariel as a kid, and now I'm like, that's racist, and still that was my upbringing. But anyways, back to the story.
I don't know. It's one of those things that, like, you grew up and learned.
Yeah, yeah, and
Can't
it's
really
like,
control what you're exposed to as a kid,
yeah, and
good or bad.
also, yeah, if that's like a source of weird, I don't know, like empowerment to see someone who can't walk on land, like, I don't know, that's kind of cool. Like, as a kid, I wanted to be a beautiful mythical creature, but I didn't really see myself as that. So anyways,
Don't we all?
don't we all? um so in Haiti, La Sirène is still a big part of voodoo tradition. The American Museum of Natural History, who I've been citing a lot, says that followers appeal to her for help. And some, there's like a murder of crows. Can you hear that? Oh, now they're starting up again. What the fuck? Okay, sorry.
I can barely hear them. It's fine.
Creepiest thing to hear, like, just
A shit ton of
crows.
crows.
Yeah. Sorry, I keep stopping and starting. Oh, this is taking so long. In some voodoo ceremonies, La Sirène might enter the body of female followers to bring good luck with work, health, money, and love. I don't really know about good luck as a concept, though, because it seems like a very American concept. I kept trying to, like,
No.
no?
Chinese culture has good luck.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah. I
we have.
guess.
I mean, that's what,
Yeah.
like, when you say at New Year's, you say "Gong Hei Fat Zhui." That's wow. My accent. I'm Chinese. Just
Okay, yeah,
listeners, I'm
yeah.
Chinese.
I
My
know.
accent is terrible. I don't speak Chinese fluently at all. I know when my mom yells at me, I know what that means. But what you say at New Year's is like good health and like good
Okay.
fortune, good luck.
Yeah. I guess, like, the way that I hear it in the Western world is like blessed with good luck, as if everything's random. But okay.
Oh no, no, no.
NBM, NBM.
I mean, that's the thing. Like everything's like good fortune,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
often interpreted as good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Gotcha. Okay.
and there's like colors that are considered lucky, right? Or like,
Yeah.
oh, this happened to you, so now or like you were unlucky to have this happen to you. We say that a lot.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Yeah, I just wanted to. Before I say something about Chinese culture,
Yeah.
I am Chinese.
For sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. And if that's true, then I was totally wrong about the good luck thing being American. Anyways,
I mean, there's different ways to like say it and
to interpret it.
intentions. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I just, like, remember people, like, telling my parents, like, oh, it's bad luck that you have a disabled child. Kind
Yikes.
of. Yeah, yeah. So that's, like, where my main source of luckiness comes from.
Yep.
And that might be a personal thing.
I mean, there's definitely like, oh, it's bad luck that you had a girl for a baby.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So just, like, culturally, I'm used to it being used like that. So I'm like, but anyways.
People just need to stop.
In the sense of La Sirène, it is not like that. Good luck is good luck.
Okay.
And then, so her name comes from the French siren, which kind of explains why she is more, she has more Western mermaid qualities, because the French view of sirens is very connected to the Greek idea of sirens as like bird women who seduce sailors and smash up their ships and drown them
Bird
and
women.
eat them. Yeah, yeah, like sirens in Greek mythology were like half bird, half women. They could also
What?
swim. Yeah,
Well, that's
there
why
were
I'm like, birds
birds.
can't swim. I
I
mean,
don't. I don't
hold on.
know.
Ducks can swim. Ducks
Ducks
are
can
birds.
swim.
I'm thinking my image of a siren is like the mermaids in Harry Potter. Again, not
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up Harry Potter right now, but like they got like sharp, vicious teeth.
Yeah. They're birds.
They're like
Half
swimming
birds.
harpies. I don't. They're just a
Yeah.
little bit more vicious than a mermaid typically in my brain.
Oh
So
yeah.
like when you say bird, I think of like a bird, like a what are they called? A pterodactyl? They've got like teeth
Hmm.
and they like chomp.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not like ducks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. Yeah, it's weird and
Like I thought like harpies are mixed with bird, like that makes sense.
yeah,
But like a
sirens mixed with
siren
birds.
mixed with bird?
I guess like if the sirens in ancient Greece would like perch on rocks and like craggy cliffs, like maybe that makes more sense.
No, because then they're part goat. Part mountain
But
goat.
birds, I mean, birds like nest in cliffs
No,
though,
you're right.
right?
You're right. I'm
Yeah,
just making a
yeah.
joke.
Okay.
It's
I don't know. Like, I kind of got into the Greek mythology at first, and it was weird. Like, all these different combinations of bird and women. Like, the bird is the top half, the bird is the bottom half. Like,
a bird with legs.
yeah,
Human
like,
legs.
I know, like,
That's terrifying.
where the woman begins and the bird begins is, like, all over.
Where the bird ends is at the knee. Can you just imagine just like oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm just like imagining like the
Oh.
top half of a woman being a bird, and then the only thing
Mm-hmm.
to quote unquote identify the
Or a
person.
bird with like
Like,
bird legs but human feet.
yeah, no, it's like I'm sure that's
And
all
human
there.
arms.
I like
It's not a bird
couldn't
anymore, is it? They don't
no,
have they can't flightless bird.
I couldn't even keep track of the different combinations of bird and human. Like, okay, there was a wild one where like it was a human, but then it had multiple birds as the face. Like multiple birds.
Oh no
Different.
no no!
What happened to the Greeks?
Oh my
What
god!
happened?
Who hurt them?
What
Are they
happened
okay?
to Homer?
Do they need? If they need anyone to talk to, I'm here.
Yeah,
Have they heard
I
of
don't
Talkspace? Do they need therapy?
how the ancient Greeks heard of. I mean, yeah, like I don't know what psychedelics Homer was on, but if I
Honestly.
can get some, I would love to try and see if I can write my novel on it. But yeah, so the people in Haiti and the Caribbean did not go with that whole nonsense of the bird women. So they stayed with the like mermaid mermaid image.
Okay.
So yeah, the bird thing is, as far as I know, exclusive to the Greeks. Which wild.
Just the multiple birds on the face, like.
Yeah. I mean, you
Ooh.
gotta love like man-eating feminists, though. You know,
That's
like
fine.
just like
That is
crash a ship and eat
A-okay.
them.
A plus, top notch.
Yeah.
Bird faces. Sorry. What? Bird's face. Is that
And multiple birds creating
multiple
a face.
bird face? Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like some kind of mythical syndrome.
Multiple bird face. I hear the crows now.
Yeah, I don't know what is happening. I haven't like seen like that many crows in my neighborhood, so just that
It
there's
usually happens,
that
like-
many.
in the fall.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that's the geese.
Is this another biblical
Crow
sign?
season happens in the spring.
Yeah.
It's
I feel
not
like-
spring anymore either. Like what?
It's fucking summer.
Is
Oh
it
my-
though? Seasons are social constructs. Time is a social construct.
I hate summertime too because I always associate it with summer vacay, which was always like just depression time for me as a teen with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Should we actually get back to the story now?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were finished and you were just letting me ramble, or like if we still have more to get through.
I was also talking. Yeah. I still have another. Oh my god, I have another page to go through.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I know you worked really hard on this, and I was.
I worked so hard.
How long have you been recording?
2 hours.
Yikes.
2 hours. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Can I go to the bathroom real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry, I also went to go grab my wine.
Oh, hell
So.
yes. I know. I was like, I'm so like energetic right now that I need to smoke to be taken down several notches so we can actually get through the story.
Yes. I'll tell you about my wine afterwards because I feel like we gotta get through this.
Okay, yeah. I will also tell you about Susan's pooping habits and how
please don't.
Okay.
Not right now. That's not something I can handle. I can handle stab wounds to the neck, but not Susan's pooping habits.
I mean, yeah. It's just like she doesn't like to poop in certain places. Not like...
I mean,
yeah.
That's honestly relatable.
Okay, where the fuck were we?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, about ancestors, or not ancestors, oppressors.
Ancestry.com. Yes.
I'm just gonna say this bullet point. I think I already said it, but I'm gonna say it again.
I don't remember.
Okay. In Haiti, La Serene has become part of the voodoo tradition. American Museum of Natural History says that followers appeal to her for help. In some voodoo ceremonies, she may enter the body of female followers to bring it good luck with work, health, money, and love.
I remember this now, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Got it.
And then we talked about good luck. Yeah. Anyways.
Yes. Okay.
So, her name comes from the French, serum, I think. So it's connected to the Greek conception of sirens. Oh yeah, as bird women who seduce sailors and eat men.
Still not down for the bird woman.
I know, but they eat men. I would love to
down
just dig talons into a man's head and
have you seen
tear it off.
Any part of American Gods?
No.
Oh, I think it's like the second or third episode. But one of the goddesses just swallows a white man whole.
Yes.
With her vagina.
With her vagina?
Yep.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Next time we record, I'll have my book and I'll have the passage for you. Because it's based on a book by Neil Gaiman.
Oh my god.
But I'll get the book and I'll read you the passage because literally I was at the kitchen table reading this book because the show was coming out and Ricky Whittle from The 100 was in it, or was going to be in it, and I was like, I need to read this book. It's also a thick ass book, so I don't know how much you know about my reading habits, but I like to pick up really thick books and never finish them. Like I literally can't read any other books.
Oh no.
But I started reading and I was literally at the breakfast table and I was like, Mom, I think I made a mistake. This is a very good book, but I think I made a mistake. Yeah.
I
mean, this was like my second year of college at that point. So
okay.
I wasn't a child.
Okay, so you like knew how sex worked.
Yes.
Yeah. I had a friend who was a gay boy in high school, I think, or in middle school. But he was like, I'm scared of vaginas. I don't want to fall in. So now it's like, oh my gosh, Jacob's fears were realized in this book.
Yeah, no, literally, like, she, like, gets power from sex and then swallows them whole.
Yes!
And absorbs them, basically.
Like, through her vajayjay, right?
Yep. It's great. Oh my god, this is like our drunk episode that we did, where like New Year's episode where I just like cut out the entirety of the middle section of the episode because we just went on this long thing about fucking Bumble and Tinder.
This is why I want to help you edit so that I can find all the treasures.
I could just send you the treasures.
Okay, yeah.
Compromise! Alright, but for real though, we gotta wrap this up because it's hot in here and I want to open my window back up.
Yeah, okay.
Because my neighbor was playing their TV really loud so you can actually hear it.
Oh, they still are? That would be a copyright issue.
Just a little bit.
I don't think I got
After
one.
I read fucking an entire chapter from American Gods. Oh, I'm worried about my neighbor's TV show playing too loud.
Dude, I don't think I got one bullet point in between last time. Okay.
Let me just hold on.
I feel like we got to this exact point last time too, where things broke down. It's always my episode that they break down on.
Well, it's because I told my story, and then I'm just like, oh, I don't have to focus anymore.
Rude.
My presentation is done. I can just fuck off in the back of the classroom.
Basically. Lesserin.
Yes.
I'm gonna reread the same thing about the bird women all over again.
Duct tape. I can just put tape over my mouth.
Okay. I'm just gonna move on so that I don't read the bird women over again.
Okay,
because
yes.
because that seems to be a point where we break down.
Here, I'll just put it on my nose. My skin is too oily. It won't stay for very long, so just continue.
God, this is a very important story. This is so important to me. We need to
I'm sorry.
No. It is my fault too. Okay. All right. So I found a very nice. Okay, I'm gonna start over because very nice isn't appropriate. I found a Haitian voodoo song that was posted on American Museum of Natural History. That is about La Sirène, and it's called "So They Say." The mermaid, the whale, my hat falls into the sea. I caress the mermaid, my hat falls into the sea. I lie down with the mermaid, my hat falls into the sea. And that's like the chant. And I don't know, it's intriguing. The repetition of my hat falls into the sea. I found some other versions of mermaids that I'd love to do episodes on. And I'm just going to say that out loud so that I hold myself accountable. So Sedna is another version of a mermaid, and she is from the folklore of Greenland and Arctic Canadian Indigenous folklore. So that's cool.
Canada,
yeah, but like,
sorry, now
away Arctic Canada.
Okay.
That is very harsh conditions, but so cool. So Sedna, and then there's the Yak Yak from Aboriginal folklore in Australia. So remind me to do those because those are also related.
It's so interesting to me to like hear about all the same sort of like mythology creatures, mythological creatures,
folkloric.
Like, everyone's got their versions of mermaids. Like, what actually were they? That like everyone saw this shit.
Yeah, like there has to be a reason why people.
Like, why did everybody? Okay, going back to Nessie, everyone saw mermaids, but only people in Scotland, Ireland saw Nessie.
Yeah.
Or that like they saw things that looked like Nessie, but named them something else.
Yeah.
And, like became a different mythology. Like, it's fascinating.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. Like, there has to be a kernel of physical truth there, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
What are these USOs?
USOs! Okay.
Fuck USA on 4th of July. We're shouting USO. We want the truth!
I was gonna make a water version of "Make America Great Again," but I just can't even. I can't even joke about it. It hurts. Okay, so Obviously, there are a lot of different versions of the mermaid that white people also don't know about. So we're going to go into those at some point because I'm so interested in this now. Um, okay, and then the last thing that we're going to go into is I titled it very academically European Co-option, Tracy Baptiste, and Folklore Ownership. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So do you remember in 2019 we had the whole like Black Ariel uproar of like white people being mad that Disney casted Halle Bailey as
As
Ariel?
fucking.
Yeah. So yeah,
I couldn't remember if they cast her as Ursula or Ariel, and they were
Ariel.
trying to cast somebody else as Ursula, and everyone was mad about it because she was a plus size actress.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. They were supposed to record in
This year.
January 2020. That probably got interrupted,
Oh,
so
absolutely.
it'll
It's gonna be
probably.
animated now. They're gonna use white
Oh
voice
no,
actors. Oh,
no!
God.
I think
I'm
it'll
so
just be
frustrated.
delayed, hopefully. But yeah, people were really mad. Well, white
I just
people.
can't wait to see all the fucking movies that have been destroyed. And
I
anyways,
know.
that's not the topic. I'm really excited to see. I'm really
Yes,
excited to see
The Little
Black Ariel,
Mermaid. Yes, it's
Black
gonna
Little
be
Mermaid.
great. It's gonna be great. I'm really excited. But some white people are still crying about it, and it's
You know
so
what? They've cried over
stupid.
stupid things for so long. They've had their chance. They've
I
had their
know.
spotlight.
Yeah, and
Leave.
she's so talented. She's on Grownish, and I think she is an actor for a
Oh, is
Disney
she the daughter in
show.
Grownish?
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
her.
yeah. So she's gonna be
I don't know her
Ariel.
name, unfortunately, because
Um, uh,
I'm dumb
uh,
and don't look up actors' names until
Halle
recently.
Halle Bailey.
Bailey. I thought you were talking
Bailey.
about Hal Berry. Like,
No,
not the same
Halle
person
Bailey.
whatsoever. Okay.
Yeah. So she's really qualified for the role, but white people
Good.
are like lamenting that they want the same old classic Ariel
Bad.
that they remember from their childhood, which is bullshit. And then there was that one person on social media that went on a rampage, ironically saying something like, "We and the world over want to see the Ariel we know and love." But like the world over is not white people who don't need to see another white Disney
Oh
star
my
and their
god.
faith appropriating their culture. Like, I am so excited for Black Ariel. And like obviously the appropriation goes way back. Like this isn't just about the Little Mermaid scandal. It's not a new thing. Yeah, so the Little Mermaid scandal is part of like a much larger issue. And as an example of racism's very deep trenches in America, like so deep that white people are uncomfortable with a black actor taking the role of Ariel, that we're going to have an uproar about it. And like, I'm guessing people have sent death threats just because that's what white people do. Like, I
Most
mean,
likely, yes.
like, so next time someone says like don't make an innocent child's film political or don't make this small thing about racism, like take note of this example of like something small.
If you don't want to make it political, just let it fucking happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I just. Unless it's something like child pedophilia. Don't let that happen.
Yeah, no, but like
Human rights. Not political.
no, yeah, not yeah. And like
Inclusivity. Not political.
not political. And like when we I'm talking about like myself.
And this is
like,
not a change my mind
white
episode.
people.
This is just. Don't change my mind. Please don't try.
No, don't try.
Ugh,
Yeah, like everything is about race because white people make it about race and we're racist. And God, like just also want to talk about like the cultural trauma of being enslaved and taken away from your home country, and then white people take everything, and then on top of that they're going to take your stories and your culture and represent it as your own. Like that makes me fucking furious. Like the last people or the last thing that people have when they're spread into diaspora is like their stories and their cultural memories. So like take that on top of everything. It's like, oh, I don't know why this specifically like makes me the most mad, but I'm just like,
I mean,
anyways,
it's what, yes,
yeah, like stories
it's good
really
that it does.
matter. I know.
It's good that you do, and like, you know, as white people, we can say that, and hopefully change people's minds, because we're not gonna let people change our minds. That's weird. Sorry, but
No.
you know, I feel like there's no like right or wrong here, but like there's wrong here, and if you're gonna try to change our minds, you're wrong.
Yeah, no, this is not the podcast for you. If you think, we are very
Let's just say,
set.
You know, Black Lives Matter, Black trans lives matter, queer people's lives matter, and if you don't agree with that, you can leave. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Again, I'm on a drunk rant. Please continue. Please finish.
You're okay. But
so I can go eat pizza, because
basically,
I bought pizza.
Basically, oral tradition and stories and folklore matter. So it is a big deal for white people to co-opt them. It's not just a small thing. And in fact, like Hans Christian Andersen, the OG writer of the Little Mermaid,
folktales, fairy tales, nightmare stories of little girls getting murdered on the fucking street, but written sparkly,
but like he himself in the original mermaid story like was writing at the peak of European colonization, so he was taking all of these like features from African myths and then working it into the Little Mermaid, which he then like, and now like that's part of the Western canon, and it's like a really important story, right? And it's like, but a lot of it isn't ours. And I just got this in a New York Times article by Tracy Baptist, who writes about it. So I don't know like the specifics of like what he co-opted, other than like the obvious image of the mermaid with the comb on the rock and stuff like that. And now, so modern day colonization of the mermaid, of the African mermaid, we got Starbucks and their logo, the Starbucks logo of the mermaid holding the two fish tails, like that is directly a Mommy Yada image. So Starbucks just kind of took that.
Definitely stolen,
yeah, and yeah, so just Starbucks did that, and it's a big thing. And you know that logo is iconic, but it's iconic because Starbucks and America have stolen that image and profited off of it. And then at the same time, like white Americans like thinking of African folklore as like primitive or savage and whatever fucking words that we use, but then we steal it and use it. So that fucking sucks. And I know that there's a lot of reasons to hate Starbucks, and they've been like accumulating for me, but I think this puts it over the top for me. And I'm like literally disgusted by Starbucks now. Like I don't want to go back because this just
I keep getting the emails from Starbucks like, oh, you know, continue your star streak. And I'm like, what? My star streak has been broken.
Yeah, so I was reminded of that because Tracy Baptiste wrote a New York Times article in response to the whole uproar about Black Ariel. She wrote a New York Times article called "Mermaids Have Always Been Black." And it was very emotional and very good. And it made me stop for a whole while and kind of like cry a lot. And I think I told you about it, Cody, but like, sorry, my notes are late. I had an emotional problem.
Oh, no, I mean, that's valid. 100%.
Yeah, no. And then I was just like very touched by the source. Tracy Baptiste is the author of the children's series, The Jumbies. And it's like...
Is it a mermaid book series?
It's about... It's for kids, and she uses a lot of Caribbean folklore in her story.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. that was how she was...
Educate people on that,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. And that's how she was presented on the New York Times author thing. And she goes further than saying what a lot of, like, supporters of Black Ariel are saying, that it's, like, they're like, no, it's okay that we have a Black Ariel. But she's saying, like, no, like, mermaids are black.
Yeah.
First off,
It's not just okay that we have a Black Ariel, it's
like,
correct.
It's like, this should have already happened.
It's correct. It's right. Yes.
Yeah, and then I wanted to read... Hold on.
I think we should just post the full episode on Patreon. Unedited.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to throw away any of this. I just want it all up there.
It's good. I mean, we only have, like, my sister and her boyfriend who listens, so who the fuck cares? Tracy Baptiste said in her article, in this passage is so good. She says that Black mermaids have always existed long before Anderson, certainly long before Disney. Given the way African stories have been taken and twisted, I wonder just where Anderson got his idea in the first place. He was writing at the height of the colonial period, as people were being stripped from African lands, clinging to the stories that made them who they were. The focus on Eurocentric stories and storytelling has done us a disservice, leaving most totally ignorant of the fact that mermaid stories have been told throughout the African continent for millenniums. Mermaids were not just a part of the Mermaids were not just part of the imagination either, but part of a living culture. In the heart of Africa, Africans and people of the diaspora, mermaids are not only real, but there is an inherent sense that they can affect your life, your hopes, and your prospects. The idea of this is whispered into our DNA. We know there are Black mermaids. We have seen them. We have been them. They are walking around right now, else everywhere, waiting for the sea. And that is a passage.
It's pretty.
It's so pretty. That's why.
It's so good.
I know. It's like, oh, like deeply personal. And listeners, I want, well, especially white people, you have to read this. It is not an option. It's like a 5-minute read. We're going to post the link to the New York Times article in our description, and I want you to read it because it's so good and meaningful. I want everyone to read this because it says way more than I have said this entire episode. And she actually grew up in a Trinidad area. So she has not only researched this a lot more than I have, but she's actually lived it. So
where's that?
It's in the Caribbean.
Shit person for asking, but
I think it's in the Caribbean. No, actually, I'm sure that it's in the Caribbean.
I'm gonna Google it later.
I thought that was a good quote to end on. So I just want to say to Black listeners, I know that we only have 2 listeners right now, and neither of them are Black. But
eventually, crossing your fingers.
But I just want to say that you were valid.
Wishing good luck on everybody.
Yeah, good luck. You were valid.
I need to leave. I'm not.
I'm almost done. Any or all of our Black listeners are valid. You matter to us. If you personally can think of anything that you need me to do, if you can think of anything, DM me and I am there. So there. Cool. Okay, that's the end of my story. And now...
Yeah, I mean, that also goes for my side of things. Like, if there's any crimes or anything that you need me to bring to light.
Yeah. To cover or not to cover.
Injustice against Black people, I'm absolutely down to cover because that's important. So I'm going to try to pull myself together for the outro here. I'm definitely drunk.
Yeah.
I'm one of those drunk people that never drinks and is never drunk, which is a fucking lie. But I'm one of those people that's an amateur drunk and just has to announce that I'm drunk. So, I'm drunk. I love you all. This has been the Horror Corner Podcast. I'm Cody.
I'm Elle.
You have a whole outro that you usually do. But you can find us on the internet at Instagram at Horror Corner Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Horror Corner Podcast. I usually make announcements there. Elle does the Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You do a great job. Let me know anything that I need to send you. And you can email us your stories and any corrections and complaints and comments and happy reviews to either our email at Horror Corner Podcast, actually just reviews to iTunes. But anything you want to say, either send it to our email, but preferably say it on our reviews on iTunes, because we are on iTunes. That is a thing that has happened. It is done. And we were really struggling with that for a long time, but we're up there now, so listen to our episodes there, listen to our episodes on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe so that you get notifications and stuff. Definitely not as succinct as that could have been, but that's our podcast.
Yay. And if we will not be mad if there's any corrections that you want to make to us as white people. So
absolutely not.
I will, I am never going to say that, or I will always pay attention to it. So
always listening.
Always.
You are our listeners, but we are also listening to you.
Yes.
That's creepy.
Okay. God. All right. So that's all, folks. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.